Deviled eggs. First tip, store your eggs for overnight on their side like this. Also, store them at room temperature. I have a pan of water on a rolling boil. I'm going to start by just lowering in 2 at a time. I'm only cooking 6 eggs. I'm cooking 6 eggs plus 2 extra for 2 extra yolks, if that makes sense. Gently lower your eggs in. Set a timer for 1 minute. I don't know if this works, but I read it somewhere and there's no harm in trying, that if you had a teaspoon of baking soda, to the water, it does something, it helps something with the eggs. It helps the shell fall away when you're peeling. Apparently, adding a teaspoon of baking soda will help when it comes to peeling the eggs. I have no idea if it works, but I'm giving it a go. After 1 minute, turn the heat off, put a lid on and set a timer for 12 minutes. So they're just sitting in the hot water. I'm using large eggs. While the eggs are in the boiling water, prepare a big bowl with plenty of ice in. I'm going to prepare the dressing for the yolk. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of English mustard, as many drops of Tabasco as you like. Maybe you just start small and then taste it and build from there. A little pinch of paprika, half a teaspoon of sea salt flakes, and give it a stir and taste it. Eggs are now going to go into the iced water for 10 to 15 minutes, no longer than 15. 10 really should be enough. Time is up on the eggs. I'm just gently bashing them all over. And now you have to very carefully peel them because you want them in really good condition. It's very hard for me because I cut my thumb yesterday. That was the day that I was wearing the sequins and I was a little bit tipsy. Really? Not that tipsy. But yeah, I did slice through the top of my finger. It's funny because I was born left-handed, but I think I must have been ambidextrous because they changed me to right-handed. When my mother bought me a guitar, I picked it up to play left-handed, and actually I realised as I'm peeling the eggs, my dominant hand is my left hand. Anyway, take your time and peel your eggs. Just a tip on peeling eggs, I sort of tap them all over, but I usually find the air pocket is at the bottom, and that is a very good place to start. Please don't rush this because you want perfect eggs. Use a thin, sharp knife and wipe it between each cut. You then want to very carefully remove the yolk to a bowl and then store the whites because I'm going to actually put these together later. Any bits of membrane, take those off. Can you see? This is why you lay your eggs on the side, because the yolk is beautifully positioned within the white. It's worth the effort if you want to be like Fanny Craddock, for anyone that remembers her. I think I'm channeling her sometimes when I cook in my sequins. She cooked at the Albert Hall. In fact, look it up on YouTube. Fanny Craddock cooking in the Albert Hall in a ball gown and long-sleeved gloves with her husband Johnny. In fact, if you've never heard of Fanny and Johnny, you need to look them up. The food isn't particularly nice, but they're very entertaining. These can be stored in the fridge for up to 2 days. Let's deal with the yolks. I've added in a couple of extra yolks, as I suggest you do. Pop in that sauce. Mash it with the back of a fork. Now at this point, it's much too thick to be able to pipe it. So most recipes, you would let it down with water. I've had this idea that I think will work beautifully. I've got my cowboy candy. You can use any pickles you like. You could use the pickling juice from cornichons, from pickled cucumbers, whatever you like. I'm going to start with just a teaspoon of pickle juice and check my consistency. I'm pretty happy with that, with just a teaspoon. Now at this point you can put it in a small processor and give it a blitz. Or I thought I would do it the old-fashioned way, or the way chefs would, well, the old-fashioned way is they wouldn't bother smoothing it out at all. But the chef's way is to put it in a fine strainer and pass it through. You can still put them together up to a couple of hours before you need them, and just store them in the fridge, but they will need to be covered, otherwise you will get a crust over. This is the next day, so I'm just going to fill 3, and then I'm saving the rest for tomorrow, and it's also a good test to see, you know, if they do keep really well for 2 days. Very easy. Put a nozzle in a piping bag, put your yolk mixture in a piping bag and pipe in. Oh, that's so pretty. Ooh. Sprinkle all of them with just a little bit of paprika, especially on the white because it looks pretty. I'm going to give all of them a grind of black pepper. On one of them, I'm going to put a piece of cowboy candy. On another one, I'm going to put some chives. So you can do a mixture of toppings, and on the last one, I love dukkha for a little bit of crunch and a tiny bit of spice. There we are. Deviled thingies. I thought I was recording for a demonstration, but I hadn't pressed record, and I've actually eaten one. What I wanted to show you is how you can secure something that's likely to wobble around when you're carrying it around on the plate, and that is you put a little smear of, it can be creme fraiche or sour cream, because it's deviled eggs, I've put a little smear of mayonnaise underneath. You can see, it's absolutely, and that stops the wobble. Top tip.